Hello Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or prominent placements if you have multiple that make you identify as Capricorn. Welcome to your space. What do you need to hear right now? High vibrational, truthful messages from our high vibrational, truthful helping healers of source energy. Capricorn, what do you need to hear right now? Wow. Your main message has to do with emotional loss, grief, and sadness. This could even be depression. You could be dealing with somebody in your life who has this emotional state of being, or this could be you. Your intuition is guiding you through this, or even helping you to understand somebody else's process. You're very good at understanding, even if sometimes you fool yourself or are fooled. And you're very good at detaching from your ego to receive the right messages, the clear messages. This message especially comes through for a female identifying Capricorn or feminine Capricorn energy. But for all Capricorns here, self-nourishment, taking care of yourself, your well-being, being creative, this is very important. 111, I hear that these are what things are culminating to, if that makes sense. For you to reach this point of more flow state, where you are also accepting some of the ego or the crown, a lot of your ethereal type of energy, which you do have a lot, is about to ground. It's moving to a grounding point where your status is elevated in the physical more so, especially after a time of this grief, loss, sadness, depression energy, or even just emotional scarcity and neglect. Your hell, in a way, could be experiencing this emotional pain and sadness, and even a deep exhaustion and fatigue related to the wind sort of being taken out of your sails because of some kind of grief. Sometimes progress feels unimportant, pointless, or limited, but it's good to remind yourself where you came from, in the sense, how are your emotions actually improved? How is your experience actually improved? Being frustrated, angry, or even up and down, back and forth emotionally is better than being in despair, for example. They're saying some fight is better than no fight. Again, I'm picking up on the feminine Capricorns where you could have been hurt by a partner here. You could feel a sense of grief or loss connected to a partnership or a person, and maybe some emotional instability, back and forth, and insecurity. Somebody who's not really progressing, who's not really making progress, who's playing maybe. You could be feeling into them and this a lot. For all Capricorns here, it does feel that you're done entertaining certain people, places, things that are feeding or fueling any form of melancholy or depression for you. Also hearing the word rapid. Things want to speed up for you. So you could feel very done engaging with stuff that crawls or moves really slow as well. And again, for the Capricorn feminines, your energy seems to be dominating this reading, even though all of the messages are here for any Capricorn watching. Specifically the feminines, there's a big shedding of denser energies here, lower energies, especially hot, cold, hate me, love me, break up, back together, borderline destructive, abusive, even masochistic. Not saying that you wouldn't still explore your own kinks or have your own preferences, but there's a big release from the density of this, from engaging in the drama, 333, and feeling the need to fight, defend, speak, argue, ward off, fend off, whatever. You're also just not fighting for relationships, connections, work situations, whatever it is that leave you in this love me, hate me energy, or that operate from that frequency. It's too much grief. It's like you're elevating out of this. Pisces energy could be helping or assisting with this as well, but that could also reference the recent eclipse depending on when you're seeing this. There are some big changes coming through for you, Capricorn, in general, okay? There could be some kind of a breakup you're deciding to go through, or a separation, or just distancing. Again, it's like you're distancing from codependent situations, love me, hate me, hot, cold, up, down, back, forth. Even if it's not just relationships, these can be relationships you hold with your money, your work, your family, a sibling, a friend, a business, anything really, but it can also be a romantic partner. You could be seeing that there's a lack of security, a lack of maturity, especially coming from masculine forces or energies in your life. And again, masculine doesn't have to be a man in your life, though it can be. It can also indicate a business or a system, some kind of a masculine system, right? But there's this lack of maturity and containment coming from that. For some of you, this is a relationship and you don't want to deal. You'd rather work on your own business or your own monies, getting your own harvest, your own investments, even if it takes a long time. You just want to flourish here. That's the feeling. You don't want to spill your tears anymore, at least not for this person or thing or for these hot and cold energies. You want change. You're ready for change. Change is here for you and ready for you. You're very emotionally guarded. Your boundaries are very strong, especially to these kinds of forces or people. You're not letting them see you shed your tears. This is very Capricorn visual here, even with the tail and everything. It's just, you're not gonna give in. You're not gonna let that access happen any longer. I'm hearing that song, No More Tears Left to Cry. And again, this doesn't have to be a full-blown or full-scale breakup for some of you. It could be. For others, it's just you're focusing elsewhere because you recognize that progress isn't happening, that this is an immature, unbalanced, unsafe, unable person situation. You're not fighting with it or for it any longer, at least not for right now. Much more focused on self. This can even be maternal energy, nourishing or taking care of who, what around you that you need to. And again, also yourself. Remember to take care of yourself. Some of you could have a little bit of thinning hair right now. You may want to look into something like a silk pillowcase or a silk bonnet that you sleep in, or protective hairstyles like a braid at night. You may just want to put a little emphasis on some care with your hair. This doesn't have to be extensive. It can just be a couple of minutes each day, scalp massage, whatever. But at the same time, this will eventually sort itself out. For some of you, this is just stress-induced or connected to self-neglect because you've been focusing so much on everything else outside of you that needs to be done or everyone else around. Now, again, I want to emphasize that you do have fortunate change here. You have good fortune, especially the next few months. This could be connected to Saturn, which I believe just retrograded, and it will be there until February 2026. This could actually benefit you, especially if you're able to let go of what you're supposed to let go of and focus where you're supposed to focus. And you know this because you feel it, you intuit it. So if you do this especially, you really feel that positive motion with the changes and the fortune. 808 and 717. Even if you still have your sadness from things you are pulling out of that you see aren't working. Your advice is not to stoop to their level. Be just, be fair. Don't scorn yourself. No need to scorn yourself if you already have. But moving forwards, you also don't need to screw anyone over to get ahead. It's a very masculine kind of system that is not necessary here. Taking care of yourself is not a selfish action that means that you have to step on everybody else to lift yourself up. That's not what it is. Just in case there's a few of you that are still connecting self-care to that, it's time to unlearn that program, if so, and learn the truth. Justice, fairness, balance, almost a self-righteousness energy, especially again for the feminines. Maybe self-righteous isn't the best term, but you can see this image here. She's quite literally on her high horse. And she's really not letting anything get to her, especially lesser entities, for lack of better words. In a way, just not letting them access, and serving from a place of not discarding ourselves or sinking to that level, but knowing it's no longer your task to get your feet dirty or your hands wet. Kind of allowing yourself to be carried as well without shame in your knowing. And again, this is a very feminine targeted message. Not the whole reading, but the things that we said, I'm really feeling for feminines. Those messages specifically. Your truth is right. It is golden. It is just. It is fair. This confidence boost is what is needed right now. It's what you need right now. And sometimes self-care is exterminating the pests in your life. I'm hearing, and in your school perhaps, and elsewhere and other. Capricorn, you can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. But until then, we wish you much love, luck, and success forwards, much wellness and care. Take care, be well, and thank you.